I never know what I'll find. But honestly, that's the best part. It might be something small, something forgotten, buried in the earth for decades or even centuries. But the second I uncover it, there's a rush, a thrill, because I know I've just brought a piece of the past back to life. Every discovery tells a story. Some are tied to history, others to lost treasure. But it's not just about the find. It's about the moment, that feeling, and sharing it with people who really understand the excitement. That's what makes this more than just a hobby. It's a passion, a connection, a community.
It's Thursday, it's 8 o'clock, it's the Big Detecting Show.
It most certainly is. Good evening, Donna, and good evening, everybody else. And I've made a right muck up tonight. Well,
no, you haven't. It's
not completely me.
Right.
I forgot that Adrian isn't joining us tonight, and I can't seem to wake up our friends in America, unfortunately.
Yeah, I bet they've gone on a cruise. Americans have a tendency to do that. They just go, "Oh, let's go on a cruise," and they go. And that's it.
So, if you want to join us on the show tonight and be tonight's guest...
Oh, don't say that. It'll be Rob Random.
No, it won't. Well, that'll be pest funny. If you want to come on the show tonight and be our guest for tonight, give me a shout now. Facebook messaging me. First person to message me, I will send the link to straight away. And there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
You can join us on tonight's show.
We've got lots
We
of
can even have more than one person. Who cares?
We've had, and we could also do a Q&A. We've got loads of stuff anyway. We've got loads of people in the chat saying lovely things.
Stop coming up with stuff.
No, because you're scared of what I'll ask you.
No, because...
I'm not Adrian. Listen, I'm not going to ask you what colour your pants are.
We just wing it. That's what we do. Have you not realised that yet?
I have to have a bit of a plan. I hate
You've been a part of the team for, 18 months now, and you still don't realise that we wing it.
Feels like 7 years. Metal Detecting War Relics. Hi, Nick. He said, "May Yuletide joys be ever thine, thy holidays most merry. The new year prove as bright as any holly berry." There you go. Isn't that nice?
Holly berry.
That brightens your evening.
Holly berry.
Halle Berry. We got Andrew T, and he said, "Yuletide greetings from Canada, -6 and a bit chilly." Yep, I bet. Hope your heating's working well out there, Andrew. We've got Philip Wills. We have got who's CP09. Sorry, I don't know your names. Charlie Dreamer's in. We've got Nick Berry, Ian Greenall, Philip Wills. Of course, we've got Philip Wills. I don't think he ever misses a week. We've got at J Cross. Hi, J Cross. Dean McAvady. Nice to see you in. Or Dean, who's
His
your daddy?
name's not McAvady.
He's such a nice bloke. I mean, they all are. Everyone I've met is nice. And he's a good detectorist, Dean is. He's found some great stuff on the digs that I've been on. Kevin Allen's in. Diaz Pedro. Diaz Pedro, where are you from? We've got Dave Evans in. We have got Stephen Brame, Quest for Britannia, excuse me. We've got Donna Martin in. I was there briefly. Stephen Ashcroft. We've got Derek Sherwin. Derek, hope Angie's doing okay. Wayne Rollins is in. Good evening, Wayne Rollins, one of the best carpenters in the world. Oh, you've got a guest.
I preferred Karen, to be honest.
Karen? No, don't say that. We've got Paul Tung.
Karen Carpenter.
Karen Carpenter. Can't sing Karen Carpenter.
No, you said he's one of the best carpenters in the world. I said I preferred Karen.
Oh, it's a bit music to kill yourself by, though, isn't it?
God, I wish Adrian was here. He'd have got he'd laugh.
We've got Simon Adlow. Sorry, Simon, it just scrolled up. I don't know what you said.
Diaz Pedro's from Portugal, but he lives in England.
Oh, Diaz Pedro. I love Portugal. The trouble is, in Portugal, everyone thinks I'm Portuguese and comes up and talks to me in Portuguese. And I can count to 20 in Portuguese. That's about it. I can say Azuleira.
I'm fluent in Portuguese.
Diaz Pedro will tell you Portugal is famous for Azuleira. There you go. And I love your Azuleira. Cheryl Dawes is in. Steve Barnett's in, one of my favourite people. Cake. Hi, Steve. James Barnes, one of my another favourite people's.
Madeira cake.
You're talking. What are you saying, darling?
Madeira cake.
You're just cake. Jacqueline Walken. Hi, Jackie.
Right. Derek, if Angie's fast asleep at the moment, do you want me to shout really loud to wake her up?
Oh, bless her. No, leave her alone. She's probably suffering. I hope she's got some good meds out there.
Nobody's messaged me yet to say, Dave, send me the link to the show and I'll come on.
Oh,
I can't be wittering on with her all night.
Who you send the link to?
No one yet.
All right. Jason's on. Jason's Dark Knight. He's doing some brilliant YouTube videos at the moment. He's really getting some information out there worth watching. And also Digger Dawn found something. She found something. She found a really nice silver ring. Yeah. Is
that the one we are on?
Yeah, really nice silver ring with the vortex. She's actually finding quite a bit of silver with the vortex. Big improvement
always
on
found
her.
Silver. She's always been bob on when it comes to finding silver, to be fair.
Yeah, I think every time she goes out now, more or less, she comes up with something.
There's only one person that I know. The only one person I know surpasses her for silver.
Is that Shane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wayne Rollins, did I get your message last week? I don't know.
No. Dawn's actually going to be doing her Christmas Day show again. So if you're feeling a bit lonely, Christmas Day, Dawn is going to be doing a quiz from 8 o'clock. And if she gets the answers wrong, she has to take a drink. And last year it ended up in a messy chaos. And I'm sure this year it will be just the same. So if you're bored and fed up by 8 o'clock on Christmas night, I think join Digger Dawn. It's going to be hilarious. And she'd love you to join her. We've got James.
Or you could just drink yourself into a mild stupor with Baileys or
I'll be gone by then. No, I've got my granddaughter, my baby granddaughter this year. So I'll be packing them off saying thank you, quite had enough of baby. And get on with the drinking. And James 51000 says, hey, y'all. So are you American?
Hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all. No, hey, y'all.
Well, if you've come on to watch Matt and Jess,
they're not there.
Jess is still
Malk
asleep.
Sut's on. Best everyone for Christmas and New Year. I could keep going. We've got Dominic Tomczyk in. It's great. Isn't it great? How many people did we have?
You know what's annoying, Donna?
Me.
You going click, 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 click,
I have
click,
to.
click.
I haven't got. I can scroll it, but then it whizzes up and down too much. How many viewers did we have on Facebook last week, David?
8,000.
8,000 viewers on Facebook. That is nuts. Oh, Gareth Howard's come out of the attic. Hello, Gareth. Hope you're doing
I'm glad
okay.
you said attic then. I nearly got confused.
Yeah, I was going to describe something and I can't remember what I was going to describe, but it didn't have the word moist in it or shaft, but it was quite good. No, it was
Who
quite a good
even are
description,
you?
but I can't remember what it was.
Wayne, I've just read your message. Don't be daft. Appreciate it, but don't be daft, mate.
Who?
Anyway, Wayne.
Yeah, no, don't be daft, mate. Don't be daft, and I'll tell you why when we see it, sweetheart.
Busy this past week.
He has.
I'd say non-metal detecting, but in some ways it is metal detecting. I'm not ready to discuss it just yet. But Donna is doing something towards it, and Adrian is doing something towards it too. So hopefully I'll be ready to discuss that in the new year, as well as, well, there's two things, but they're both connected. And
you're being all secretive and mysterious, darling.
Well, I'm not, because I've sent you emails about it.
Well, I know what it is, but I think to everyone who's taking part, Dave's got a secret. Wow.
I've got a secret.
It's good. It's going to be good. Can't give you
And
any credit. Good job, Adrian's on, because he would have blabbed it by now.
He would have done. He'd have bloody showed you the bloody.
No, you're going to say it. Yes. Don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. Blokes are terrible at keeping secrets. Anyway,
I'll tell you what. I like him. I like him. No, the person who's just messaged me to come on.
Dear.
Someone's just messaged me, so
send in amazing.
The link. Thank you, that person.
I've been out this week.
Donna's been out and about. I've got some images from Donna.
Been out detecting as well.
And you've been detecting. Mm-hmm. I'm supposed to be going detecting on Saturday, I think. Yes, Saturday, hopefully, weather permitting and all that jazz. Adrian's not on tonight. He's at a Christmas party.
Yeah, he won't even know which day it is by
And
now.
the guest tonight I've just sent the link to, and they still remains un.
Yeah, if David sent you a link, can you just have a look and respond? Sometimes it takes a minute to get your setup to hook up. My camera's messed up.
No, I said I've sent the link to the people who were supposed to be coming on. Matt and Jess are supposed to be coming on. We did have massive news for next week's show as well, but both mine and Adrian's attempts to communicate with somebody have remained unanswered, and that would have probably ended up being one of the biggest big detecting shows ever.
Can I help?
What?
Can I help?
Doing what?
To work my...
No. Have I not? No. Have you not read the messages today, so you don't know what I'm on about?
Sent it to me. I don't know.
Who was that? It wasn't me.
That's this. That's that. Yeah.
So we were supposed to have a massive night next week, but I don't think that's coming to transpire.
I'm sorry if you've all gone to sleep. One is a mystery. 2, the guests haven't turned up. Well, 1, the guests haven't turned up. 2 is a mystery, and the other one is, I don't know. Well, look forward to joining in next week.
I've messaged you. Read that. So anyway, we'll get on with the show.
Detective Nation, hi y'all.
Can I get a word in edgeways, woman?
No.
A kind gentleman has just contacted us to join us. In fact, his message was, if you'd like me to shut Donna up for 5 minutes, I'll come on. So appreciate that. But anyway, we'll continue on about interesting news this week. Was I'll have to pull that up as well because I forgot what that was called. See, I'm very not ready tonight because obviously we had other things planned, but unfortunately it hasn't come to fruition at this moment in time. Anyway,
You've apologised enough. Let's get on with what.
So one of the things
Let's
that was
get on with what we're
sent to
gonna
me
do.
this week of interest was this. From Minelab. Minelab have, now this is actually more expensive than it is on the Minelab website, but the Minelab Intrepid has been released.
I think this is really interesting, and I think it's really clever of Minelab.
It's actually $79.99 on the Minelab website if you don't want to go to Amazon and buy it. But the Minelab Xterra Intrepid is very, very cheap. It's obviously, Donna, what did you say about it today?
I think it's a really good in for new detectorists. So it's affordable. That's the thing. If you're looking for, if you know somebody who wants to get into detecting and it just wants to try it and you have got no other machine you can lend them, it's under 100 quid. It's obviously it's made of plastic. Apparently the build quality is pretty good. If you want to watch the video test on it, go over to Chris Addicted to Bleeps on YouTube, who is going to be field testing it as well. Minelab have sent in one of them. But it's very simple to use. But it is really clever of Minelab because it's basically, from my perspective anyway, it's getting in right at the beginning of somebody's journey into metal detecting. It looks like a reasonably decent machine. It's getting down to about 5 inches. It discriminates. It's the old, it reminded me a lot of when I had my first machine. You know, when you get the kind of nail icon and you get the caps icon and you get the coins icon and you get the ring icon. It's that kind of thing. But the target ID is actually pretty good and pretty reliable. Plus, you've got the same depth indicators and everything as you've got on the actual Nox as well. But it tested really well. And I think Chris is really interested to see how it performs out in the field. But what it will do, you know, think of somebody having that as an entry machine.
It's only a bit heavier than a bag of sugar.
Yeah, it's very light.
Reaches 55 inches.
Yeah, but it's very light. It will suit an adult as well as a child. But also, if you think about it, somebody buys that, there's a free pair of gloves comes with that if you scan in your details. So if you scan in your details to Minelab, they send you a free pair of Minelab gloves, which are really nice, decent gloves. But then yet they have your marketing details. And they can market to you all the new shiny stuff that's coming out. And if you want to upgrade, who are you going to upgrade with? It's going to attract brand loyalty. I think it's really clever. You know, it's a really good machine, and it would be a really easy transition from that to, say, one of the a Nook 700 or something like that. Really easy. So
the one bad, this is actually reviewed back in 26th of March 2025. So it's that's a Minelab Voyager.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen any reviews from it yet. I've just seen Chris testing it.
Why the bloody hell's that coming up there? The Minelab Voyager. Why is they coming up there?
I think he was surprised with the performance, and he tested it on a number of different metals. And I mean, I've got my Nox, and it doesn't respond in a dissimilar way. It's multi-tone. It doesn't in a similar way. It responds rather in a similar way to the Nox. I mean, obviously the Nox gets a lot more depth and, you know, is a lot more. There's a lot more going on. But yeah, it's very close. It's good. I think it can be good. I'm so interested to see how it tests in the field.
The standard Intrepid at $84.99 on Amazon. Intrepid Tactical, which is camo coloured, at $89.99. The Voyager, which you get an appalling spade, some Minelab rechargeable batteries, headphones, and a backpack, and the Voyager Tactical, which is all that but with tactical colour. The spade, the best you can do with that is use it as some form of like eating implement when you're out.
Yeah, but I think if you're getting it for a kid to muck around with on the beach, it doesn't matter. You know, if you're
The kids should take it more seriously and not muck about on the beach, getting
But
in
if you're
people's
looking
way.
to buy your niece or nephew for something for Christmas, you know, your special niece or nephew, and you want to start getting them out into the field with you, or son, daughter, whatever, but that's a really good entry machine. And it's going to perform. Who the hell is that? And what are you doing on our TV program? Hello, darling.
Oh, hello.
Oh, this
Hi,
is
James.
James Barnes calling us from the mansion.
James, you know the rules. Turn your phone onto its landscape.
Oh,
department.
sorry. Yeah.
There it is. Now we can see you.
Now, if there's
People
a man
will
who
complain.
we know has been up to something, it's going to be dear sweet James. You've been confined to the bedroom then, James?
No, I'm currently traveling, so I'm in a hotel.
Oh, whereabouts are you?
I'm in the Wirral.
Oh, are you?
God, it's my bloody hometown, that is. Whereabouts?
Yeah. Well, it's a sort of Liverpool area relating to the car plant.
Whereabouts? Oh, Vauxhalls. So you're back in Ellesmere Port.
Yeah, Ellesmere area. Yeah,
that's where I'm from, James.
Heswell.
Oh, right, yeah. I used to have milk round on the Heswell.
Yeah, I guess, James, what he's saying is don't say anything derogatory.
You're joking, aren't you? Ellesmere Port's shithole.
Yeah.
The Wirral, however...
There's nothing particularly nice in this area.
If you keep away from the right side of the Wirral and keep to the left side of the Wirral, it's lovely.
Yeah.
Wayne Molan says, "Evening, James Barnes. How the devil are you?"
I'm all right. Yeah.
Dean McAfaddy said, "Dave in the bedroom." I think he's had a drink already.
Oh, Jesus Christ! If I hadn't had a drink, I would have gone. I would already gone home a long time ago.
I've had some interesting comments here about the new MindLab machine. Stephen said the numbers looked unstable. Yeah, they are unstable, Stephen, on the Nox, because you have to go over a target, get a solid ID, two-way ID. But if you looked at, I think it was the ring test, he was waving it about in the air, and it did look unstable for a bit, and then it stabled. So Derek Sherwin said manufacturers need to include a leaflet explaining the rules surrounding metal detecting, and they do. But do you know what? It's not down to manufacturers. That's down to the Portable Antiquities Scheme, and they don't do it, and they need to do it. It's not down to the manufacturers. If it's a legal requirement for people to sell metal detectors with some kind of information, it will happen, and it's not happening. And the dealers, the actual people that we go to, like Crawford's, Regton, LP, Spinner Disc, all the rest of them, they actually will give you information. If you go into a store, you will get information, but you ain't going to get any information if you get specific to country, though. Don't get me on my hobby horse.
It's better, isn't it, James? James, your microphone's muted.
Okay.
Literally, I'm trying to unmute your microphone as well, and it's muted.
Yeah. No, I've unmuted it now.
Have you? Why? Because I was talking. Were you coughing?
No, I think Dave might have accidentally muted me, thinking it was you.
Yeah, probably.
How could I do?
What I was going to say is, I don't know if any of you guys have noticed, there seems to be a slew of Chinese metal detectors in recent times, and Turkish. Well, yeah, but not just in the last. I would say in the last couple of months, just claiming outlandish type sort of metal detecting depths, and they always seem to, they always have like a table sized disc of sorts, or a dustbin lid, and they're sort of detecting it from about 3 or 4 feet deep. But
don't be tempted, you're saying?
Well, I mean, they're much more common now. They seem to be going, and then there's a slew of Turkish detectors, relatively sort of similar to standard sort of deep tech type stuff, claiming all sorts of stuff, all sorts of things, but increasingly those unusual style devices that claim that they're PI machines as well as magnetometers. I don't know if you see a lot of those. I'm seeing those all the time.
Yeah, that's worrying because they ain't going to be PI machines for sure. So that's the problem.
No, I know. It's unusual that there seems to be this new sort of glut of rather what appear they appear to be advanced, but I guarantee you the quality is dog crap.
No,
but,
it's a scam. I think.
Well, they sort of mimic themselves in OKM type machines and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's not good. Philip Wills just said, gone are the days of being able to trust anyone or anything, and it is true. But we know that when I just want to say, you're not stupid. All of you out there, you've got a brain. If something on the internet is going buy, check it out. If you see loads of 5-star reviews that say, "I love this machine. This machine is great. This is fab. This is fun, wonderful. Buy this. This is so much fun." Just don't buy it because they pay people to do those kind of reviews. If you see genuine reviews, they will say, "I bought this machine from this supplier. It does this, it does that. I'm really happy with this, that, and the other." Just go to somebody reputable. Regton, LP, Crawford's, Spinner Disc. There's loads of them out there. Go to a shop and support our detecting businesses. That's what I would say. And then you're not going to get done.
Yeah, very good.
And there's a lot of YouTubers have 10% off. Have you muted yourself, Dave?
Like the Dark Knight Detectorist and Stephen Pettican and Shane at Regden's, Staff's 10. Dark Knight Detectorist. In fact, it might be in the banners. Let me see. Oh, we've got. Oh no, we don't want that one.
He said, "I laugh at the Chinesian machines that blatantly rip off well-known machine designs." I mean, they're going to be awful, so don't do it. They might cost you 100.
I forgot what his name is.
Go buy the Mind Lab.
Thank you. I'll say for you for Dark Knight.
What is the Nocta one called? It's not the Score, it's the other one.
Which one?
The entry one.
First Score.
Oh.
Yeah, no, there's another one. But the point being, there are reputable manufacturers with good
Simplex.
well-priced entry-level machines that will work. Then Philip Wills said he's been sent the wrong items many a times. Yeah, Stephen, most machines have parts made in China. They're not necessarily made in China. That's a properly different thing. Hello, Cy Weber. Nice to see you. I haven't watched your vids for a while, but hope to.
Love you, Cy.
We've got some news on competitions, but we don't have competition tonight because Adrian's here. We don't have a wall. I can do this, and you can guess what's behind it, but it would only be me, unfortunately.
What do you think of Nexus metal detectors?
I've not tried one, but
nor have I. But they're quite well known. They seem to be. Yes.
Be interesting to have a chat.
They're quite expensive, but I'd love to hear from someone who has some experience with one.
Well, in our world of just nearly 10,000 people, it would be nice to get a response. Somebody must know what a Nexus is like. John Clayton said metal detecting. Sorry, John Clayton said Legend 2. John, you're right. Legend 2, and if you can get a Legend 2 second hand, not a Legend 2, a Legend rather second hand. Legend 2 is coming out soon, and it's not going to be badly priced compared to the Deus and the Manticore. But if you can get a Legend second hand, but I mean Simplex second hand is going to be next to nothing. Just think about these as other option. Thanks, Stephen, for what you said. Stephen Brown wants to know, James, what is your favourite machine that you use?
Well, I have to admit, I do like I am a Deus 2 person, but I do like the Versa.
Haven't used the Versa. I'd like to try the Versa.
The Versa is a great machine, and they've got the latest. The latest update is really, really quite good.
Is
it?
So
yeah, it is. Yeah.
When Adrian finally gets, I mean, literally, I'm like about an hour away from Adrian. When he finally gets around to inviting me down there, he's going to let me use his Versa. So I will.
Yeah.
Have a.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to. It's definitely worth having a go. It's definitely you need a little bit of instruction at the front end because it's a little bit different.
That's what it is, Tidy. It's the first swing, is what it's called. The Nocta entry level for kids. Thank you. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no worries.
Dean said, Deep Tech Gold. Quest for Tony said Rutus. Nox is selling cheap now that there is the 700. So Nox 800, says Jason, is selling cheap now that there's a 700, 900 and the Manticore. And now the new Vanquish range. The 800 is an underrated machine now. Jason, I took mine out on what day is it? It's Thursday today. Wednesday. So yesterday, for the first time in ages, and it absolutely smashed it. I didn't get up anything brilliant, but I could not walk without a signal. It was incredible. And I didn't get any trash. No trash. One bullet, sorry. I've got one bullet and one bit of green waste in a whole afternoon. Amazing.
Wow.
Nexus have got one of them annoying websites that opens a new tab.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of like it's very old school.
These are the 1,618 euros, 1,663 euros, and 4,295 euros.
But they are not. Are they more like, so if you're looking there, that's a different looking machine, but are they not like the Gold Max where so some of the European machines, so why the Golden Mask, sorry, not the Gold Max. I'm muddling my words up tonight.
Golden Mask.
Not the third gin. The Golden Mask was invented to actually go through deep pavements when people were treasure hunting. So it comes from like a mine detecting machine, but it's invented to go through stuff. So are they not almost like a mine detector?
No. I think there's a few users in the UK. And I mean, don't get me wrong, they have some astronomical sized coils.
Well, these coils that I'm showing at the moment are actually Mine Lab coils that go up to 42 inches.
Yeah,
which is bigger than most TVs.
They have like dual coils where they're sort of like double loops and stuff like that. They're absolutely massive. Yeah.
Tidy said whatever happened
about 2 feet across.
Detector. So Tidy said whatever happened to the Mars detector.
Well, Mars they were more of a they did have a detector, but they were a coil manufacturer mainly for other manufacturers.
He said that thing John Bradbury had one. He found 3 rings in 20 minutes.
Oh, good machine, that then.
There's got to be. Depends if somebody dropped 3 rings. Tidy said Cleggy coil. Yep, you're right.
It's one of the greatest detectors of all time, I hear.
Oh, up there with the best.
Dean?
No.
Who?
John Bradbury.
Oh, I don't know. I've never met him.
We'll have to get him on the show with you, Donna.
Yes, I would love a wagon wheel.
Oh, that would be. I'll tell you what, that would be. That would be like a face-off of the highest vocabularies.
Would it?
Oh, he'd destroy you, Donna. He'd put you to
shame. I learned from my dad. I learned from the master, and I watched my dad meet somebody. It was at Kings Mountain Museum in North Carolina. It was one of the it's the War of Independence Museum, and he met his nemesis. It was somebody who talked as much as he did, and me and Stuart were in hysterics because they were literally having a talking battle. It was so funny. I don't do that. I listen. So, James.
What? You're telling me you don't talk?
No, I do listen as well. James.
Yes.
What have you been out doing that's interesting in the past couple of months? Because I know you were, when I messaged you a little while back, you were going up north looking at something.
Yeah, I've been doing. I've been on a number of digs, but I've been doing some geophysics in some really amazing places recently, and we've discovered quite recently a new sort of Bailey complex associated with a Motte and Bailey.
Yeah.
And it was a settlement that wasn't expected to be there, but it turns out it's a massive outer settlement of a known Motte and Bailey.
Brilliant.
So that sort of encompasses about, I don't know, about 5 acres of land, and the entire area is just completely covered in settlement.
So tell people who might be from the USA exactly what Motte and Bailey Castle is.
Well, yeah, so Motte and Bailey was associated with the Norman conquest, and basically it was a means of applying localized sort of pressure to any given sort of community. And what they did is they created a huge mound of earth and then put a small sort of keep style castle on top of it, and then enclosed a lower portion of that as a sort of garrison. And it was just used to impose, because no one had ever seen anything like that previously.
So they were like the first castles.
Yeah, in effect, they're the first castles, and so they were there. It was like kind of like a George Bush special, a shock and awe type of approach to how to subdue local communities within the medieval period in the UK.
I mean, it's interesting because they did build initially out of wood. They built in stone where they could get stone, but it's interesting how many of these have actually survived. I've got one near me. There's one near me in Ely that they can't confirm that's what it is. So they said, oh, it might be a post mill. It definitely isn't. It's definitely a Motte and Bailey because it's still there in the environment. There's one at Cambridge on appropriately named Castle Hill. There's also one at Thetford still. We used to skid down that. They're all faced with chalk rather. They're all faced with chalk. So they would have looked gleaming white and like something out of Lord of the Rings. Quite impressive.
Yeah. I mean, this particular one, what's kind of unusual about it is the outer sort of earthworks of the actual known portion are quite sort of defined, but the actual sort of the motte itself has been completely demolished and is no longer there. There was the castle bit is gone. There was two brothers in the 1950s took it upon themselves to dig it out with an excavator, and in a hunt for treasure, dismantled it completely and just basically took it apart and found nothing, of course, because it was just a giant mound of earth.
There's no RCHM then, was there?
It's no longer there.
John said they've got one in Totnes where he lives. And Wayne said there's a massive one in Anglesey in a place called Beaumaris, and that's worth a trip.
Well,
we found one actually
all over the place.
When we were out looking for a site, we were searching maps for potential sites, and we found two. I can't say where it is exactly or which county, but we found a place where there were two potential DMVs almost adjacent to each other. They were in the same landowner's land, quite close to each other, but there were two potential DMVs, and it was a bit curious, and we went and actually walked it on the ground, and there was a place called Castle Field, and when we went to look at it, it actually was Motte and Bailey, without a doubt, no question. Incredible, incredible. And the Bailey by the owner had actually been mown really flat, still had the moat around it, like it actually had like a raised bit around it still. It was almost too perfect to be true, but they'd got no idea. We didn't tell them it was there. They'd just got no idea, but it's so far off the beaten track, you'd never go and look for it.
Yeah, what was amazing about this one was the actual physical moat that runs around the outside of it is completely visible in the geophysics, but it's completely blank on the ground. But you can actually see then where the drawbridge was.
Really?
Yeah. And you can actually see where the sort of footings of the bridge was, which is kind of really, really cool. But it's basically in a playing field in the middle of this tiny little village. And,
so when you go out to do these jobs, I mean, I'm assuming that you're doing that kind of work voluntarily.
This particular one is voluntary, but purely for it's an old gentleman whose wife was originally on the course that was taught at Oxford, and she died a few years ago, and her sort of studies were incomplete, and
right.
So 5 years on, he asked, would you be willing to come back and have a quick look at some of the other areas in the local vicinity? And so, yeah, I signed up and said I'd come and do it. And now it's turned into, it's going to be potentially a community dig. It's going to be all sorts of things, and then it's going to require me to do a funded, obviously, geophysics survey ahead of it.
Isn't that a wonderful way, to make yourself?
Well, if it's in my neck of the woods, which I'm 3/4 of an hour away from where you are now, give me a shout if you need any assistance.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. This particular one is a bit further south, but it is a great little project. The initial parts of it might happen next year. But yeah. But I did a big dig up in Cumbria, a potential site, but the real thing that we were really hoping to find wasn't there. It turned out to be purely geological, which unfortunately it just happens to it happens sometimes. But
it does.
The Viking boat shape turned out to be a geological feature.
So is that a sort of a cart before the horse kind of investigation where I hate that though.
It was my professor at Oxford who saw the boat shape and he said, "You don't think so, do you?"
No, you had to do it if
he got so excited.
Wayne Rowlands has got a question for you, James. He went down to see his lovely Claire the Hare this week. He went to see Silbury Hill Mounds. Have you ever geophysed around that area where the place is? It's amazing.
That's Avebury area.
Yeah, well, I know it very, very well because one of my good friends who used to work at Historic England was the person who excavated, did the last excavation there in an effort to consolidate. There was a very large hole appeared at the top of Silbury Hill.
I remember that.
And it was basically the original 1960s Atkins excavations. Remember Magnusson?
Yeah.
And him and Atkins did a excavation inside, but what they did when they left is they basically just sort of they just basically covered up the entrance, and they left all of the excavation and everything else intact below it. And of course, when you have voids and spaces with earth that's weighs about 500,000 tons above it, it started to basically.
I love that you've just publicly dobbed him in because I don't think that's out there in the wild.
It is. Oh, it's well known. We're very well known. Yeah. Yeah.
I think my books are probably too old. Diaz Pedro has just said, "Dave, can you show my coin, please?" Sorry, Diaz, are we boring you? When you've actually been out sort of in that area, obviously that's a really prehistoric area, the area around Avebury, Stonehenge, and all of that. What are you looking for in that kind of area? I mean, have you been assisting the really big project that's there, or are you looking for peripheral stuff, or are you looking for something completely different?
Yeah, I mean, some of the projects that are there. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, there is quite a bit of medieval in the area. Don't get me, there is a lot.
Yeah. Hi,
But
Christian.
I mean, obviously, the main focal point of the heritage site itself is prehistory.
Yeah.
But it's superseded by a lot of medieval, and that stuff comes up all the
I'm
time in the
interested,
excavations.
particularly if you're coming across any Roman stuff out there, because
Yeah, there's a fair bit. Yeah, there is a
I
fair
mean,
bit
there's one
around.
point in time where they thought the Romans really hadn't gone much past Amesbury into the west, and pretty much as soon as I'd been told that, stuff started to pop up from Detectorist. And then I was talking to the farmer when I went back to the dig, and he said, well, you know, that stone up there on that kind of like routeway, that prehistoric routeway, there was a big standing stone, and they found a pot of Roman coins like next to the standing stone. So years and years ago, it was their sort of legend. But yeah, I did wonder whether you come across much like that.
Yeah, there is a lot of there is a lot of Roman in the area.
Yeah.
And there's different interpretations why they think that is. I think, you know, there was a fascination by the Romans about what these things were, you know, and as they.
Well, there would have been. If you think about it, you know, you're turning up and you've got evidence of somebody who's been there before you that suggests they're fairly powerful, and you think you're the most powerful
quite.
agent. You know, that's actually quite interesting. John Clayton says, I see they're digging up Merlin's mound behind Stonehenge. Do you know anything about that?
Not aware of it.
No, I don't know. I'm sorry, John, I don't know. Dave?
Doesn't surprise me.
Daddy Pig's doing it. Dig up the road. No idea.
It could be. There is. I know there's further excavations of the large pit circle around the Durrington Walls site, which, I mean, the pit circle, which is 10 miles wide or whatever it is.
I think that's.
I know there's further investigations into that.
Is that to try and prove they're not sinkholes?
Yeah, I think they're trying to just understand whether they really are giant fire pits. And so would there have been this colossal sort of 20-mile diameter sort of fire, whatever they were doing?
I think Mike Parker Pearson, I mean, I don't, bless him, he's made a few mistakes, but I don't think that, I think he's been talking about that they're probably Pingus, but as he points out, it's very unusual to have them at very regular intervals, but it depends whether or not that's cart before the horse stuff. And I don't like anything that isn't empirical. I think if you're gonna, and by that I mean, you need evidence for what you're gonna say. Or
Rather than spec, there has been a fair bit of speculation around a lot of those kind of things down there.
Yeah,
and they haven't really and because there's such a challenge to excavate anything in any of that area, it takes ridiculous amounts of paperwork now, and permissions to get, you know, to excavate in anywhere near the whole sort of Avebury and Stonehenge area is almost nigh on impossible.
Do you agree with that? Because I think, I mean, on the one hand, because they're very much preserve in situ, aren't they? So if we're talking about the Stonehenge landscape, everybody, and you know, people like Historic England are preserve in situ, you know, leave it alone. They did a huge survey, which was, there were two, I think there were two 2-hour long BBC TV programs on it, but basically revealing the landscape, the wider landscape around Stonehenge. And I mean, I've always, because I was part of a dig in Amesbury years ago, I've always been aware that there's been more going on there really than they knew about at the time, but they're learning about it now. But I do think, you know, by stopping people actually looking and making them dig tiny weeny test pits that people are coming up with ridiculous conclusions based on something they're finding in a metre square test pit. Whereas if you did a sort of a bigger excavation, you could answer a proper question.
Yeah,
I think
you've got to be.
there's a lot
You've
of
got to
daft.
be the answer, but the counter argument there is, it's a one. Any excavation is a one-shot deal. So it's basically you excavate it, you destroy it, and then
It
you
is. You
answer.
do
But you
know
answer a
where.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do
But
know where the scheduled areas are. You do know where the bigger mounds are. You do know where things are that you don't really want to go messing about with. And I mean, a lot of those have been dug in antiquity anyway. There probably are none left that are completely intact, because people like Stukely, they used to go out seeking them, and I mean, so many people were commissioned by other people to dig in them.
you mean the treasure hunters?
Treasure hunters of the olden days. And even before the RCHM was begun, when they wanted more agricultural land after the war, they were told to plough these mounds out. People were ploughing these mounds out, and you had people actually
they were in the 80s and 90s as well. Don't get me wrong.
You had people actually going and rescuing this stuff. The archaeologists in the darkest of night rescuing this stuff because they knew stuff was being ploughed down. And Christopher Taylor, who I think he's a fantastic landscape historian. He was also an alumni of Cambridge with me. I used to meet him regularly. He was one of them. And a lot of the stuff that's in the Salisbury Museum, they rescued from barrows that were going to be destroyed. So, if you're saying, well, look, we've got some archaeology, it's in an area, where there are no barrows, but, there is archaeology, like, we'd like to have a look and see what that is and explain it.
I think, that is a valid point, but it's also a very costly point. And that's the biggest problem, is cost.
That is the biggest problem.
The cost of excavation is, you're not talking, okay, let's just start digging a few holes here and there. It's the moment you start digging let's say a 10 by 20 meter excavation, you're looking at the best part of about 30 to 40 grand.
Yeah, but they can get funding for all this stuff. And that's the thing.
I know you can, but it's just not simple.
Training digs. No, I know. No, I've been there. I mean, I've been there when we've been excavating on literally a shoestring, and people have had to pay for themselves to go. And
I mean, and that 30 to 40 grand, that's relying on the fact that the people who are digging it are volunteers.
Yeah.
If it's commercial, you're talking 150 grand.
Can I just tell Tidy, we're going to ban you if you say things like that. Stonehenge is a fake. It was made in the 1900s. No, Tidy. You haven't read.
There's one thing I did want to bring up on the show this evening was there was something on the BBC a little earlier, which was a bit concerning. I don't know if you're aware that Bristol Museum archive was broken into.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they've had a number of items. God knows how many items stolen. It's not so long since Cardiff was ransacked as well.
Same night, different night.
No, it's different occasion. But the Bristol archive has been they've taken God knows how many items of, like, virtually everything that they've taken has got little to no financial value in terms of resale. It's all sort of just incredibly historic type stuff, and just incredibly, like, crazy value.
Is it museum stuff or is it manuscripts?
Yeah, it's archive museum stuff. So it's like lots of sort of ancient art, ivory, and this, that, and the other, and various.
That's what it is.
Pieces.
Yeah.
All sorts of very unusual items, but
what? It does sound like
terrible.
A bit to order that sort of stuff, though.
Well, if you get, like, people who are breaking into an archive, they're probably looking for gold and this, that, and the other, but don't really know what they're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Tidy said there's no way they moved them stones all the way from West Wales. I think they've proved that they come from thereabouts, Tidy. It's how they got there. I'm pretty sure they didn't move them overland. I think they moved them by water. We
By
have no
water,
idea.
almost certainly. Yeah.
That we have no idea. I mean, I worked
But
when I was at
they are
Amesbury.
definitely, by the way, they are absolutely definitely from that one quarry. The petrology in question is unmistakable. It cannot come from anywhere else.
Yeah, we might not be with Parker Pearson on they were already standing stones when they were there. I think he's been discredited for that, but
yeah, I'm not convinced of that either. So.
No, I mean they can't measure up. Basically, the assessment that they did was proven
Bullshit.
not to be sound. I think they're going to go back. They're retesting something, but I don't know what it is. But it's very interesting that the avenue starts at the River Avon, and it's a very it gets steeper as you go up towards Stonehenge, but it's a very slight incline up from the Avon, and it's possible that they would have sledded them up from the Avon. And we don't know basically what the open waterways were in the Bronze Age. We know where the Paleolithic channels were, but we don't necessarily know what was available. But some of it may have come by sea, and these people knew how to move stuff.
Well, if you think about the Avebury complex and you think about the Stonehenge complex, what a lot of people don't realise is the two are actually linked, physically linked by an avenue.
Yes, they are.
And people don't necessarily always realise that the two monuments are all part of the same thing.
And also, I think you need to know, people don't necessarily know that this was a quarry. What we're seeing is what is left of a quarry. And I'm not talking about what you're saying, Tidy. I'm talking about Stonehenge. So Stonehenge in the 18th century, before anyone took over the land and said, you are not going to destroy these stones anymore, people were quarrying the materials for building constantly. I mean, they said the noise on there from people hammering stones was incredible. So a lot of the stones that could be moved were broken up and carted away. And then people were chipping bits off stones, not because they respected the stones, they venerated them, they wanted to sell them as souvenirs. They were chipping bits off the stones because they wanted stone, and that's, I mean, I don't know why, because there's natural stone lying around in that landscape, but it's easy access, isn't it? It's means of access. So a lot of the smaller stones definitely would have been broken up, and they found bits of stones definitely kind of propping up farmers' barns and all kinds of things. It's not a pun on your surname, James, by the way. So we're seeing what's left, and we've always got to think that, don't think about how you see things now, think about how you might have seen them. I'm going down
like the one thing that sort of always sort of shocks me in terms of which monument was that so important, but what was it about Silbury Hill that they went to that extent to build it? Because it's estimated, with the technology they had at that time, you're talking about 500 men working 12 hours a day for 10 years to build that hill. 10 years. Yeah. 500 people working around.
I'm not saying it's aliens.
But can you imagine? That is an astronomical feat. Right, and what is it that was driving them to build a hill of chalk that size, and nothing in the center of it. There's nothing of note in the center. There's nothing buried. It's just purely just a giant mound.
I mean, I know some people have come up with the idea, that it's a viewpoint for looking at Stonehenge. Great. But I don't know. I've never climbed up it, and you're not allowed to now. But what is the view from there? And I wonder whether or not it's almost like it's either got to be Druidic, where you've got somebody preaching from the top and there's ceremony going on that people can see, or it's for communication purposes, where people can communicate to lots of places from that one point. or it's got to be for lookout purposes, where people have got visual aspect for a really, really long way in what is a fairly flat plane there, so it lifts you above the plane. But do you want to hold on to yourself here? This is the weirdest thing, and I don't mean your man, I mean yourself. I literally was looking up Devil's Dyke in Cambridgeshire only yesterday because I have this nagging quandary. It's 7.5 miles long. It's an average now of 30 feet deep. Apparently, that was built by the Anglo-Saxons to keep out the Mercians. Now, wrong, because it's facing the wrong direction. It means the Mercians would have had to go way round the fens, gone almost down to sort of Colchester and come back the other way. And then you've got the Fleam Dick, the Brand Ditch, the Brent Ditch, all in a row, kind of up to Devil's Dyke, which is vast. I mean, when you see it, it is vast. The minimum it could have taken when I didn't do the maths, AI did the maths, was 49 years to make it. So it fills a gap between the edge of the fens, which nobody would be able to get through, and thick, heavy woodland in what would have been the Bronze Age, I assume, or the Iron Age. Now, there are a lot of these kind of dikes throughout the south and southwest of the UK, and they're all built very similarly. So with a really big, deep ditch and a massively high defensive bank.
Yeah.
And
Wands Dyke, have you seen that? Well,
yeah, exactly the same. So, but apparently these go
You're
out.
not far from Offers and the Watts Dyke.
Exactly.
Watts.
But they're all facing. They're all facing south, so they're all facing the same way. But they're supposed to all go out of use about 100 BC. So the same time where you've got all your hill forts supposedly going out of use. And again, they are a subject of debate because they're not allowed to put big enough holes in them to gather enough information that would actually tell you much about them. But they're supposed to have gone out of use about 100 BC. So you're not talking about necessarily the threat of the Romans as we know them. You're talking about some kind of threat. They're definitely defensive.
Well, there's one called the Shire Ditch that runs across my hills where I live, the Malvern Hill. Yeah. There's a dike that runs across the whole of the top of a large portion of the top of the hills, which I'm going to be able to survey over the next 2 years because I've just been given permission by our local county council.
That will be really
quite useful.
I bet Stephen Crane will volunteer.
The chance of me putting a spade in the ground is a different story, but I can at least look at it and survey it and stuff.
So what coin are we looking at here? Is that from De Pedros?
Yes. Diaz Pedro. This is the coin that he sent me.
Oh.
So I don't reckon. So is it Verica? Is it something?
Well, it's got a big VER in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So it might be.
Oh.
That sounds familiar.
And it's a horsey.
No, it looks. It's got many legs. If it's a horse.
It's got 4 legs and a tail.
No, it's not. It's not a horse. It's a bull or something.
It's a horsey.
It's got horns.
Where?
It's got 3 bellies, so it can't be a horse.
I've got 3 bellies. Oh no, I haven't got 1, but it looks like 3.
You've got 1, but it's massive. No, it isn't. You actually, when I met you in real life, you're actually thinner in real life than you look on TV, and that is a fact. Everyone is thinner in real life than they look on TV. I'm just going to scroll down and see if we've got some more questions. But yeah, I mean, I think that's phenomenal. And it'd be really interesting to see if your place where you're going to be doing your survey, James, is as devoid of archaeology as they think they're supposed to be.
Well, that dike there obviously crosses the British camp, which is, that's supposedly where they fought the Caraticus fought off the Romans, and then it then became a Roman camp. But there's numerous it runs through 2 hill forts, so I'm able to go in and check the hill forts themselves and survey the hill forts.
Interesting, because that's
no one's been near it since the 60s.
Yeah, that's definitely defensive then. Going back to the standing stones, Philip Wills said, I thought they found one in the 7. Yes, they did, Philip Wills. And then they tried to build a modern day kind of boat that they thought, oh, they'll put it on a raft, and then it flipped over. Believe me, the Bronze Age peoples could navigate through the Mediterranean. I'm pretty sure they could navigate stone across the river.
Yeah.
Say again?
The Bronze Age people, in terms of mariners, were absolutely unbelievable.
Yes, they were. Yeah,
way beyond what we currently, our knowledge of what we think they were capable of doing.
Yeah, if anyone's heard
amazing mariners,
If anyone's
Matt Kent's just put a thing on about a good theory. He heard the great theory that the winter started a lot early back then, at October time, and the resulting permafrost allowed easy transportation of the stones.
That would potentially be a better means than people dragging it across grass, Matt. Winter is coming, but also they can pull it along the rivers across the ice, because the ice used to freeze very thickly. You'd have a freeze that lasted for months and months and months. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't argue with that. It's about information. It's about having enough data and information to be able to prove a theory.
I tell you what, one thing that I've heard numerous times, and when you see images of the people sort of dragging these massive Goliath stones across the ground, do we honestly think that they didn't figure out that their cattle was capable of dragging a lot more weight than they were?
I actually, honestly, when people,
I'm pretty sure cattle had a fairly reasonable part to play in the dragging of large, heavy objects.
I watched the prehistory guys, and they've changed their view now on how things were transported. This whole archaeologist claptrap of, oh, it was a community effort and everyone got together and went, oh, let's build a monument and it'll all be exciting. It's so exciting. We're going to get everyone from across the land. Well, everyone was building monuments all at the same time, so they're really not going to be dragging people from across the land, although people did come and visit.
But they'd obviously realized that their cattle were sort of like plowing their fields, and they were pretty good at basically dragging colossal plows.
Power.
They knew how animals worked. So
yes, and they did, and they were a lot stronger then than they are now, and they were born to it. They were trained to do a job. But
anyway, I don't think this is very metal detecting related.
It isn't.
This is a history show. The big detecting show. The name is just the name of the show.
Dave, you see, Dave, he's actually loving this discussion, because I can tell, because he hasn't turned my mic off yet. J Cross actually.
No, it's not. I haven't turned yours off. It's that James is holding court, so I'm happy with that.
In answer to the mystery of Silbury Hill, J Cross said it was the Cern Giant or Kern Giant making a sand kill. I can't even talk. Making a sand castle. Derek Sherwin said
10 year excavation to achieve that.
Yeah, they've achieved nothing so far. Derek Sherwin says, wasn't there supposed to be a golden statue buried in Silbury Hill?
No.
I did hear that, but I think it was one of the mystical theories rather than fact.
Rather than fact.
Matt Kent, he said, I thought that the blue limestones were in an earlier circle near the quarry and then moved 500 years later. I think, Matt, you believe Mike Parker Pearson, and he's been discredited with regard to that, and they're doing some more investigation. And
the bluestones, the bluestones originally were further out than where they ended up.
Yeah,
they were an outer ring of a lot more of them, and then they were moved in a later configuration, because Stonehenge went through multiple configurations over.
Dear Pedro says thank you.
And for those of you who don't know, Stonehenge was actually rebuilt when it was bought by the person who gifted it to the country. It was like that.
Yeah.
And it was all put
Oh,
back.
no, that was,
So it probably might not even be the same shape that it was intended to be.
Yeah, there was definitely some artistic license went into the modern day, let's say, the way we see it today. It was constructed back in the 50s, was it? The 50s?
But we're not saying that it was aliens.
No.
No.
But the Antrobus family actually bought it, and they still have a place, a nice manor house at Amesbury. And they gave it to the nation. Philip Wills said maybe the 7 froze. I'm with you on that, Philip. I think it's a brilliant theory. It's probably one of the best theories I've actually heard. And I'm not going there, Philip, by the way.
James. My mind's gone blank. What's his name? Stephen Brain. James Brahm. Stephen Brain asks, James, do you have any theories as to why they chose that site?
The locality on the Wiltshire Plain, you mean? Yeah, it's an interesting location, I suppose. I mean, I suspect it's got a lot to do with the chalk itself, and the fact that you have a lot of fairly soft material. When you dig white chalk and you expose it, it's pretty. It's just very dramatic.
It gleams.
And I think it's how dramatic everything would have been in that setting. Because you look at it now and you think, well, you just see you see the stones and you see, but the whole area would have been completely like bright white when dug and when exposed. All the ditches and everything else, all the rings, bright white. Silbury Hill would have been this colossal sort of white mound, like something no one had ever seen. And I think it was that vibrancy of white compared to what people were used to.
There wouldn't have been the trees that are there now. There wouldn't have been the buildings that are there now. That avenue you would have been able to see as it was supposed to be seen.
Yeah, you would have had the distraction. I mean, the one thing that you have is that people never see because it's covered in trees. When you go across the roundabout at Amesbury, when you pass the solstice, it's now a massive business park, but it's the services. As you go down towards the A303, you pass these massive big banks on either side. You're actually cutting through the end of a huge hill fort called Vespasian's Camp. And that's where I was doing archaeology with David Jakes when I was doing my degree. And we were actually doing archaeology just off Vespasian's Camp. And we were doing a fingertip search of badger sets on the camp. So we got permission of the landowner and kept finding these slabs of chalk, flat slabs of chalk, just loads and loads and loads of them. Not only did we date the hill fort to 300 years earlier than they thought it was actually built, but we actually were able to prove that it would have been faced with chalk. And a lot of these burial mounds were also faced with chalk. So it was obviously a thing of respect or a cult thing or a status thing that, you covered something special with chalk. It gleamed white. It looked impressive. And it was either, you either had to respect it but it was all across the land. Pretty much everything like that was faced with chalk. And other than that, in the north, I'm assuming they would have been stone.
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's hard to know quite what, because most people look at Silbury Hill and they see it as a hill, but what they don't necessarily realize underneath, of course, it's terraced. It's a massive sort of. I mean, if you were to see it without the infill, It was terraced like a sort of Mayan type series of ringed terraces that goes up.
That's really interesting.
So the whole thing is a massive terrace, and then basically all of the in bits in between have been filled in to make a sort of like a cone. But the same thing is in Marlborough, right in the centre of Marlborough, which of course it has a motte on top. But of course they believe that is a similar, but it's in the middle of the town. I don't know if you've ever been there.
Yeah, I've been told.
Yeah, it's right in the centre of town. But they think that is is basically the mirror of Silbury, the sister of Silbury.
Be interesting to have a look at the landscape around each one and see if they're the same, where you could actually prove that they're contemporary to one another. Tubo or Tobo 43, I think we established that before, said pulling stones across land back then would have been difficult with the forests. And yes, it would, because there were an awful lot of massive expanses of forest.
Well, I thought you were on about where he said it's on the Salisbury Plain, because there's a lot
of
hippies.
No, if you're coming down from Wales.
There's a lot of hippies around there.
If you're coming, they're called forest. If you're coming down from Wales,
I was one of them, by the way.
Areas.
Mark Kent says, a bit like the Abbey ruins at Bury St Edmunds, there was some council-run ministry that used to do all the work on the Abbey gardens, and apparently they are a bit made up.
Yes, they are. Very much so. Dare said it's one Celtic silver unit coin in what you were looking at also. I think the trouble is there's a lot of it's theory that you want to be archaeology. We were talking about it earlier on, the cart before the horse. You don't come up with an idea and then try and prove it in terms of it's this is it. I know what it is. You come up with a theory, like a working hypothesis, and you ask loads of questions. And when you are actually carrying out archaeology, you are asking a question of what you are doing. Everything that you are doing, you're doing it with an aim and a question in mind, not to prove your theory, to see what it is there, to see if that matches with your theory. You can't make it fit. You don't ever, when you're doing a jigsaw puzzle, I really hope you don't cut the edges off so it fits the whole. It's the wrong kind of archaeology. And it doesn't work, and people only end up disappointed and, discredited. Being discredited is the worst thing that can happen to an archaeology.
It can be the worst thing, yeah.
Yeah, it's the end of your career.
But metal detecting has a part to play at both ends of the scale.
Huge.
So one metal detecting can discover a site, right? Let's face it. So some of the amazing sites that are currently sort of being excavated are from initial metal detecting finds that have deemed enough frequency of finds to say there's got to be something here. Let's bring some geophys in. Look at that! Holy shit! And that starts an excavation. But then another thing is you discover a site or a known site or whatever, expanding on a site. You bring metal detecting into even on scheduled sites. So I'll be metal detecting on a scheduled site quite soon, but in an effort just to get an idea of what the sampling of metal of finds are within that particular area, expanding on what that information gives us, because it's very difficult to in areas around sort of scheduled sites to sort of determine what's going on. And metal detecting really can be a really quick and easy field survey technique to achieve that.
Yeah. I think metal detecting can help inform, and I do wish it was used more on development sites before sites are developed.
I know what you mean.
They're doing stupidly shallow archaeology on a lot of these sites, and I wish.
Can I just say for the viewers who haven't been to the RCM or Detectable, this is just like sitting in the evening time. Apart from James is usually a little bit more drunk.
That's true.
Same conversation, same trail of thought, same everything.
It's as close as
and
you'll
me
get.
sitting there like that.
Yeah. Dave absorbing things like that, and then he'll go to sleep thinking about all these things, and then my phone all day tomorrow.
I know what I'm going to be thinking about when I go to bed tonight, Don, and it's not going to be no.
Nah, you'll be pinging me tomorrow going, you know that thing you and James were talking about? I've got a book on that. You know that thing you and James were talking. That's all I get tomorrow.
No, you won't.
Yeah, but
you know what you're going to get. I know exactly what you're going to get tomorrow.
What am I going to get?
More of what you've had today.
God, I'm busy tomorrow. I'm going out. But Stephen said he's enjoying this. It's nice to have a different show. It's taken a bit of an unexpected turn, but that is a good turn because James knows the stuff as well.
James does, and he's. I might be taking the whittle a wee bit about what it's like, but he's a fine companion to have in the magic teapot or sitting outside the van drinking alcohol.
Yeah, a good evening on an event can't be underlooked by any stretch, because the metal detecting community on these big events is when we all come together finally and sort of I love going on my own permissions and this, that, and the other, but it's nice to sort of eventually get together and have a. I don't know, the big ones, the 3 or 4 big ones that they have a year, they're definitely always worth going to.
You meet
and
so many
it's
people.
nice to find your tribe as well, because, we have found our own tribe, haven't we?
We do. Matt Kent has just said they cut the trees down to make the sleds. Yeah. But Derek says, interesting point. And I know this because I've seen this on YouTube. I don't know it by experience, Derek, but there's a really good view from West Kennet Longbarrow, and that's literally a short walk from Silbury Hill.
It's not a short walk if you're my size, because it's all uphill and it hurts.
My legs are shorter than yours. It's still
the cars that go over that hill and come down, you got to watch yourself. They drive at about like 80 mile an hour across there and just go completely nuts.
It's upsetting though, but
they're actually talking about changing some of the. So that was a conversation I had with Amanda Chadwick, who's one of the persons who's sort of involved with lots of the stuff that happens there. And they've been talking about ideas about how to deal with Avebury and obviously, because, you drive literally through the ring, the main henge itself.
Yeah. There's a pub there as
well. And then basically, and even now during the middle of winter, the car park, the car park is completely maxed out, and they're sort of like trying to figure out how on earth they're going to cope with coming years, the amount of visitors, and what people are going to do, because the locals are absolutely tearing their hair out about, people just basically abandoning their cars in people's driveways and God knows what, and that's what people do.
It's a tiny place, and that's the problem. And it's on the main road. I mean, what they need to do is
park and ride.
Well, I don't know. Just find a decent field and do a walking trail to the stones. Where we've got Wickham.
Avebury.
Yes,
they have. They
have but the car park is now maxed out already.
Yeah. But there is a walking trail from that car park.
There is,
yeah. But just do it again on the other side. Do it on the incoming road, do it on the other incoming road, and then, you'll be set up from either side. I think Wickham Fen, National Trust, Wickham Fen, you drive in, you park, they got maxed out. They extended their car park by about 3 times.
Did they do an archaeological survey before they built the car park?
I guarantee you they did.
Windmill on Spinney North Bank. So yes, I have done work there. We dug up a windmill, didn't we? But that was, and we went back.
Can I just say, by the way, West Kennet Longbarrow, the first crop circle I ever saw was on the hill going up to in the field adjacent to the hill going up to the West Kennet Longbarrow. What an experience that was!
Yeah, I bet.
It's quite amazing. It's an amazing site. The Longbarrow itself. What surprises people is they were literally ploughing right up to the edges of that, up until I think the 60s, 70s, and they were literally ploughing on the sides of the barrow.
Here, quick fire question.
We're allowed to do so.
Quick fire question. We've got a few minutes left. Yeah. What's your favourite barrow?
Ooh. I kind of like the barrow. Oh God, oh God, the name's going to elude me.
Go on, Donna.
At Uffington, just off Uffington.
Wheelbarrow.
Can I just point out, Donna, me and Adrian are comedians. We're the light-hearted relief. Yeah. Doesn't work coming from you.
I've got 3 allotments. Of course, my favourite barrow is a wheelbarrow.
Mine's Bring Kelly Do on Anglesey. Probably pronounced incorrectly.
Yeah, that's quite a nice one. Yeah.
That is a good name.
I do like the one that is. I like. God, how can I not remember it? It's just it's on just off Uffington Horse. Oh God, what's its name?
The Horsey Barrow, we'll call it.
Yeah, it's just. Oh God, how can I not remember that name of that? Oh, I'm going to remember it shortly here. But no, that's an amazing one because it's so.
Derek Sherwin says he loves West Kennet, but also likes Wayland Smithy. I thought
that's it. That's what I was looking for.
Wayland Smithy.
He sounds like a TV character from the 70s.
He doesn't he?
I've never been. We've got a place.
I have. That's the one I was thinking of. Yeah.
We've got a place near us, weirdly enough, also called Kennet. And when I ever think of a barrow, I think of Danehill Farm Barrow at Kennet. And sadly, they are literally building all over the fields around it. It's right next to the road. And it's how you think you'd come across a barrow that nobody would know about. It's covered in sort of saplings and brambles, and it's just there next to the side of the road. You really have to know it's there to look for it.
Oh, yeah. That's it.
My other favourite is my local one, the Bridestones, which is I pass it twice a day going to.
Yeah, Bridestones. I know
is that a long barrow as well? Or that was a long barrow, wasn't it?
Possibly.
Yeah.
I think it's a round barrow, but
I've done a hell of a lot of work there, and I have a lot of theories and hypotheses about said location, which I will reveal all in the future because it's 9:30, would you believe?
It's been very quick. Can we wind it up with something a bit more lighthearted? Obviously, thanks to everyone in the chat for just sticking with us tonight. Before we go, we've got a very important question to ask Dave and James because I wasn't allowed to do.
Hold on then, let me go past and say, ladies and gentlemen, before she does that, I've got a very important question. If you can contact us via the Big Detecting Show website, we would like to know what your favourite ever episode is of the show, because unfortunately, Christmas this year and New Year this year fall on a Thursday. And obviously, I'll be asleep on Christmas
You should have a double show.
We should.
On those days.
Like,
so,
we should do a whole day.
We'll all be asleep. Bat and stuff. So, which are your favourite episodes? Because what we'll potentially do, as well as potentially coming on another night, is put the old episode on again
that night
for your entertainment.
Yeah, whichever one. So we're going to have almost like a vote for the world.
This is episode 277, so you've got one or two to go for.
Yeah, you've got a couple to choose from, but if you can tell us which is your favourite ever episode, it can have a number and have who was the guests on, preferably as much information as possible because Dave's curating is terrible, but hopefully we can find it and then we will pop it on either Christmas or New Year, and then we're going to do something special anyway. Kevin Allen said, I've got the Bronze Age Norfolk Henge on my permission. Interesting. I'm not that far away, Kevin Allen. If you've got some decent land, I'd love to detect around the
Stop blagging people.
No,
right.
Anyway, the question I was going to ask before we go, I want to know, Dave, start me off. Your favourite detecting snack?
Sausage roll.
It's sausage roll. James?
I have to admit, I do like bananas.
Really? Oh,
So does Nick Berry. He
Does
likes
he?
bananas.
I don't want to
Nick
know why.
Berry's got his own true story because he showed us at Rodney Cook. Nick Berry has his own banana-shaped banana box.
Yeah, but do you know what? That is a good thing to have. When you've actually washed your daughter's school books off for about the 10th time because she stood on her bananas, you need a banana case if you're into. I don't like bananas. No.
I wondered where that was going, but yeah.
Derek said something very different. I always take What's-Its, marathon, protein bar of some description, but they have to be nice ones, and some mini cheddars and a sausage roll.
I do love mince pies in the field at this time of year.
Oh yeah. Or
can I just point out I've had 4 different varieties of mince pie today.
Have you?
Yes.
Nice.
And the big, massive Mr. Kipling ones, the new range that are about yay big, are the best mince pie I've ever had, other than my dad's.
I had a full Christmas dinner today at Jag Land Rover for £8.
Oh, you lucky boy!
Wow, and was it good?
£8.
That's proper subsidised.
That's good. And was it good?
Totally subsidised, because I'll tell you what, it was massive.
Was it? Was it nice?
For £8, I thought, my God.
That's why he's lying in bed.
I might have it again tomorrow.
Right. James, thank you for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure to speak to you as ever.
Yeah, it's good to see everybody.
That's my favourite episode. Yeah, we've got Marlborough Mound. Couldn't believe that my Tesco doesn't do mince pies. Ava and Fisa, interesting show. Good luck, everyone, if you're out. Thank you, everyone. We're going.
Marlborough Mound, we're going to be excavating it next year, by the way. Yeah.
We'll be back same time, same place. Currently, we're still waiting to find out if what we are hoping to bring you is going to happen or not. Otherwise, we will be back with something else instead, as ever. So,
do you know what? Whatever it is, it's the big detecting show. It's Thursday night. It's 9:30, and we're done for the night.
Donna, shut up, because you keep getting it wrong. Where's your father? Out with your mother, Tom. Good night, everyone.
See ya.
Love you. Bye.